Been just 1 week since a gunman opened fire on the First Baptist Church in Sutherland Springs, Texas, killing 26 parishioners, including children. And today the community is holding services to honor the victims. They're also opening a sanctuary at that site for people to pay their respects. Joining me now is the Democratic governor of the great state of Connecticut, Dan Malloy. Governor, thanks for being here. Unfortunately, you know all too well about victims of gun violence after 20 school children were murdered at Sandy Hook Elementary in December of 2012. When you heard about another mass shooting, what went through your head?
Well, you know, I've heard of a lot of mass shootings since then in the last 5 years. And about 48 hours after the shooting in Newtown, I said publicly that, you know, that kind of shooting is going to come to your town or your state unless we do certain things about it. In Connecticut, we've done those things, and as a result, we've lowered crime very significantly. We've lowered the number of homicides very significantly. But the reality in America is that no gun should change hands without a background check. We should not be selling arms to terrorists or people on the terrorism watch list. We should not be selling guns to felons, violent felons, and certainly the armed services need to do a better job about getting their information onto our data sites. In Connecticut, we use a couple of different data sites to make sure that we don't allow or approve the sale of guns to people who shouldn't be getting those things.
In the last hour, Governor, Senator John Cornyn spoke outside that service in Sutherland Springs. I want to take a listen to that.
The statement I hear most often is we need to do something. But here, that something is pretty clear. We need to fix this broken background check system. I'll be introducing bipartisan legislation perhaps as early as tomorrow. My hope is that we can expedite consideration of this, get it into law, and to make sure that this sort of thing never happens again.
Senator Cornyn's legislation is going to include that the federal government's required to upload the conviction information it had on gunmen. What's your reaction to that? Does this go far enough?
No, it doesn't, and he knows it. Let's be honest. He's one of the bad guys who wants to pretend he's one of the good guys. If he said no gun should ever change hands without a background check, then I'd agree with him. If he said we should close the gun show loophole in this nation, then he'd legitimately be a good guy. But quite frankly, he's in a sticky situation. His state is in uproar, and he's trying to have it both ways. Really, should we be selling guns to people without a background check or at a gun show? Does that make any sense in America or anywhere else in the world? You don't see it happening. What's going on in his mind and other people's minds? Basically, nothing's going to come out of Washington on this, and it's left up to the states until, quite frankly, more of those murders, more of those mass homicides come to more states and more towns and more cities, and America wakes up.
Will that even do it? I hate to ask.
I think, you know, well, listen. He wants cover, doesn't he? I mean, he came out from that service, and he wants cover. He wants to pretend that he's doing the right thing. But we can't let him have that, this kind of, I'll do a little, therefore you have to consider me a good guy. When we know he won't vote to end the sales that aren't subject to background checks. We know he won't vote on a national basis to end all of the different ways that you can buy guns on the internet or at a gun show at your high school. Or on a person-to-person basis. That's where these guns that are being used more often than not are coming from.
After, you know, the shooting in Texas, your fellow Democrats were, you know, calling once again for gun control, gun reform. Let's listen to what the President of the United States had to say Monday while in Tokyo, and I'm going to get your reaction on the other side of this.
I think that mental health is your problem here. This was a very, based on preliminary reports, very deranged individual. A lot of problems over a long period of time. We have a lot of mental health problems in our country, as do other countries. But this isn't a guns situation.
This isn't a gun situation. As you well know, Governor, the AR-15 has been used in some of the worst mass shootings in America. What do you think of the president saying this is not a gun situation?
Well, he is right. There is a mental health problem in America, but guns kill people. I mean, these instruments of mass destruction that allow people to fire so many bullets in such a short period of time and kill so many people, whether it's from a high-rise building or walking into a school or a church. So we've got to do something about it. The only way to really do it is to end sales of guns and trading of guns without a background check.
All right, Connecticut Governor Dan Malloy, I appreciate you being here. Thank you very much.